Thank you for joining me today on the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. Today we're diving into, again, from Old Carter Whiskey Company. This is going to be their Batch 5 bourbon specifically. This is coming in at 115.1 proof or 57.55% ABV. And again, this was a very small batch. It was only blends of up to 8 barrels, and there was 1,648 bottles in this batch. So mash bill on this is, it's a very high corn based bourbon. So in excess of 80 plus percentage in corn. So again, in today's day and age, a very high corn based bourbon. It is non-age stated, and the MSRP on this is right around that $175 to $200 price point. So, you know, again, in today's day and age, not, you know, over the top in terms of what it is you're getting quality wise. So, all right, let's get into the review. First, color wise, you can see really nice, rich, deep, like copper, mahogany type of color. There's this reddish type of hue to it. Really, really nice. And again, with this, you know, these higher proof bourbons, allow them to open up. It will, generally speaking, reward you if you give them a little bit of time, let them open up a little bit. And again, you'll kind of get an idea as you move it around in the glass a little bit as to the oils. This one is extremely oily. They're non-chill filtering. This is all barrel proof. So everything that somebody who appreciates a really nice high proof barrel strength bourbon is really looking for in today's day and age. So, all right, let's get into the nose. So right away, there's this rich, like cornbread aspect to it. Really heavy, dark chocolates, that rich, bold, like dark chocolate that's there. Almost like a bourbon-soaked dark fruit aspect to it. It's just very, very rich on the nose. Again, that heavy dark fruit. Even a bit of like a cold brew coffee, which can be very intense. So it's like a concentrate almost. That rich, warm caramel aspect to it, almost like a baked apple pie. There's a little bit of that pastry note that's there to it as well. And I always try to describe this as like a wet, rich oak. There's just this, not where you get that like over oaked aspect. It's just, there's like this richness of the oak aspect that's there to it, where it's just like pulled at the right time. There's just that bold, rich, kind of deep oak aspect that's there to it. Great spice on this one. And even a little bit of that citrus note that's coming out, more of like an orange peel aspect to it. Yeah, it's very, as it kind of sits, there's this rich kind of like just apple pie type of aspect to it. And again, it's something I've gotten before with the Old Carter stuff. I mean, Mark and Sherry do an incredible job of the quality control. Their blending that they do, the passion that they put into it, it really is translated into, you know, each one of these bottles. So, and that nice, like rich kind of like tobacco note that's there. That like, there's just this soaked dark fruit, like a bourbon soaked dark fruit aspect that's there to it. Some of those cherry that's there. Really nice, rich, dark chocolate. Fantastic spice that's there, that creme brulee. There's, I mean, It's as good as you get, I would say, in terms of the nose on a bourbon. It's just everything that's rich and complex, and almost everything that I think somebody looks for in a quality barrel proof whiskey. And that says a lot. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the palate yet, and already the nose is, I would say, as good as it gets. It's an extremely fantastic, rich, well, put together, complex type of nose. So, all right. More importantly, let's see. I got a little bit of that kind of like a dusty corn aspect to it there, right when I was kind of moving it around. All right. Let's more importantly, again, let's see how this one tastes. Cheers. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. For me, without giving any notes like right away, hands down for me, probably one of the best bourbons I would say I've ever had. The rich complexity that this has is, it's hard to put this one in words. I guess if I had to, you're going with, again, I've got notes here in front of me, but those heavy, like dark soaked fruits that are there, the chocolate, the orange citrus that's there, the vanillas, the caramels. I mean, this is one of those bourbons that's very, very special, and it's hard to put this in terms and try to convey what the profile of this really is. But when I say it's a special bourbon, I really mean that. I mean, the complexity of this is, there's just something that's very, very unique and special about this. So, I mean, I guess in terms of trying to give you a description of really what this is, again, those rich, dark, soaked fruits, the dark chocolates, the spice that's there, the vanillas, that rich kind of creme brulee, the caramels, just how it's layered is what makes this bourbon, I would say, very, very special. So if you can find, I'll say right away, batch 5 specifically of the Old Carter Bourbon, buy it. I mean, it's worth every single penny that anyone is charging for this. It's a very, very special bourbon. Again, you still get some of that citrus that's there in it. Coats the mouth extremely well. The finish is long. There's those great baking spices that are there. But the thing that lingers in my mind is the complexity and the layers that this has. So this is one of those bourbons, I would say, that you have to allow to open up, take your time with it. You're going to be rewarded in terms of what it is that it has to offer. It's just, as this thing opens up, it's going to really develop. And as you sip on it throughout the evening, it's going to probably give you a lot of different types of things. You may pull out a lot of different notes on this, but in terms of enjoying it, it's just the richness, the complexity that it has to offer, the oak that's there, the spice that's there, the citrus, the chocolate, the dark soaked fruits that are there. It's an absolutely incredible bourbon. Yeah, some of that, there's a little bit of that kind of dusty aspect that's there to it from the oak. Again, some of that like maybe rich coffee or espresso bean aspect. There's so much that this thing, and again, prior to this, just sitting down with it, it evolved so much in terms of what it has to offer that just doing a quick sit down review of this doesn't unfortunately do it a lot of justice. It has just so much to offer The finish on this is long, complex, rich. It lingers forever. So, you know, in terms of a kind of just a generic or overall review of this, if you can find batch 5 of the Old Carter bourbon, buy it. I mean, it's just like, I'm trying to kind of get a grip on what it is that I'm kind of tasting. And it's just that rich, complex chocolate, dark soaked fruits, that orange citrus that's there, the well-balanced oak, the great spice that's there. It's got just about everything I would say anybody who's looking for that next great pour has to offer, period. So for me, it's definitely going to be in that top 5 of 2020. I mean, right now it's a really, really early contender for being the top whiskey for me of 2020. It's that good. So with that being said, you know, again, if it's something that you can find, buy it. I would love to hear people's thoughts and feedback on whether or not you've had this, and do you kind of echo what it is that I'm saying? Do you kind of buy into, this isn't for me hype, this is just the quality of what this batch, you know, has to offer. And for me, it's hands down, I mean, one of the best or top whiskeys I think I've ever tasted. It's that good. So, you know, again, leave some comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this. It just has everything that you could possibly want in a bourbon there in a bottle. The richness, the complexity, it's very hard to necessarily describe each one of them without being able to sit down and try this bourbon. It's that good. So with that being said, I would love to hear people's feedback and thoughts on this specifically the Old Carter Batch 5 bourbon. Have you tried it? And are you as crazy about it as I am? I mean, for me, I think, again, it's very special and one of the better bourbons I've literally ever had. So with that being said, I guess we'll kind of start to wrap this thing up. I would, again, love to hear your feedback on this one. If you'd like to help support the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. You can find the link in the description below to my Patreon page. All of that will be there. If you'd like to follow me, you can on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those places, My Bourbon Journey. And again, more importantly, let me know your feedback on this. I would love to hear your thoughts on, again, is this something that you appreciate as much as I do? So with that being said, more importantly, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my reviews. Greatly appreciate all of your support. And remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers.